show. Yeah, that's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. Never a dull moment in Notre Dame land in the middle of all this playoff talk and everything else. Marcus Freeman signs an extension with Notre Dame right before the playoff edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps John out as well. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish Rant. Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. If you don't want to see my face, nobody blames you for that. Call in lines 312-988-15. Dial it up. Tell Uncle Johnny Boy, oh, you've heard and seen about Notre Dame. It's always something. It's always something. Notre Dame football brought to you by Sports Illustrated. Read all about it. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. The deal's still going on. We got people jumping on board. Promo code NDCFP. Get a discounted rate for the rest of the playoff run for Notre Dame. We want everybody to be able to jump on board and enjoy this together. It's great building community thanks to all you guys. All right. Let's get into this. There's been rumblings. There's been chatter. There has been articles. There's been podcasts. Everybody's talking about Freeman and an extension. I wrote and talked about the NFL rumors and the Bears and all this. It screamed to me, not a fit. And, somebody's representation angling to get a better negotiative deal, build up a market value, whatever. I just didn't think any of that was a fit. It seemed weird. All of it was vague. And it just came off like the way your representation tries to build your market value. So there's been those rumblings all the way back to last year, you guys. I think if I'm not mistaken, even up till like Clemson last year, I think there was discussions of this. And then that happened and Clemson happened and it all fizzled out, died down for another year. So now Heather Dinich is reporting Freeman signed on for 4 more years on top of his original deal that had 2 more years left. Interesting. Makes him one of the highest paid coaches in the country. Doesn't say the number. But it says makes him one of the highest paid coaches in the country. Wow. Okay. So 4 more years. He's got a couple left in the current deal. Okay. So he's going to be around a while. So much for the NFL rumors. So much for the Ryan Days, having a breakdown and he's going to go somewhere and Marcus moves in. All of that's out. And now we know exactly what the realities are. Now, we need to talk about what this means. Big picture, small picture, immediate, down the road, whatever. It's one thing for this stuff to happen, but you got to think about what it means. What messages are being sent and by whom to whom. Bavacqua has seen enough to buy into Marcus Freeman as his guy. Is that not like the number one takeaway or maybe number 1A? I'll get to the other one. This tells you Bavacqua has seen enough to buy into Marcus Freeman to make him one of the highest paid guys in the country and add a bunch of years more on this deal. He doesn't need to wait and see how the playoff goes. Like, all of these things are things you got to read into this. There is no, well, let's see how the playoff goes. And if he advances around and beats Indiana, we'll ink the deal, whatever. They made it a priority to get this done so then it clears the deck to be able to fully just focus on the football, right? So that's the first thing it tells me is Bavacqua's seen enough and he's impressed enough and he doesn't want anything stupid to happen or Marcus to get away from Notre Dame or anybody to swoop in there, take him or whatever. He's seen enough to buy in on the field, off the field, all the stuff that goes into the calculation. The guy in charge has seen enough. So here's the thing. For as much as this tells you about where Notre Dame's leadership stands on Marcus, this also indicates Marcus's buy-in to Notre Dame. You know, if anybody ever had the thought of, man, I wonder if Marcus ever wonders how much easier it'd be to recruit at Ohio State and whatever, and not have some of the restrictions and the hoops to jump through and all the money that whatever. Like, you just wonder sometimes if he's ever thought of that compared to how hard it is to get some things done at Notre Dame sometimes, right? And you wondered, man, in the changing landscape, as hard as he works, is the mileage he's putting on, is he looking at an NFL situation where you don't have to be on the road recruiting every single day of your life, dealing with all this? Now you know exactly. That is the best part of all this. Now you know long-term exactly how everybody feels about everything else. There's no more speculation. There's no more, I wonder this, I wonder that. Are we waiting for this? What's the time frame for that? No. We all know now. Bavacqua and the board have seen enough of Marcus to buy in long-term, and Marcus wants to be here long-term. Those are your takeaways. So I like that there's nothing ambiguous about any of these relationships now. Everybody's putting their money and their time where their mouth is, and they're all on the same page, and they all want to do this, and they all like where things are going or whatever. On the field, trending the right way. You can't really argue that right now. Recruiting, if I'm Bavacqua, I'd want to know. That's one thing. If I'm Bavacqua and I'm doing this, I would say, Marcus, we need to iron out some of the recruiting a little bit. That is one thing I think is fair. This staff does a great job evaluating some lower level guys that aren't 5 stars, but they come here and play great. I'm not taking that away from them. But I don't like our risk exposure that the highest ranked guys in our class we're losing every year. You got it. That is one thing. If I'm Bavacqua, I'm going, we got to figure something out here. And if I'm Marcus, I'm saying this is a give and a take. If I'm Bavacqua, I'm saying that. If I'm Marcus, I'm saying this. Yeah, I want to figure that out too. And you guys need to figure out how to give me more wiggle room to get undergrad transfers in here that could help us more than a year. Like, there's a give and a take. I hope both of these parties explored some of this and are holding the other one to account on their part of the deal. Think about this, though. There now exists a uniquely odd pressure here on Marcus Freeman. You get the big extension. It's going to be national news. A few days later, you can't lose to a basketball school in your state that's never good at football and give them the biggest win in program history. And they wouldn't be the first team you were supposed to be that you allowed to do that in your place this year. Woo, baby. Like, there was already an extra layer of pressure on this playoff game because it was Indiana, and you can't allow a second team to get the biggest program and win in program history on your ground in a year. This ramps it up even more. I mean, I know it doesn't change anything, but you ain't this big extension. You can't go losing to this school a few days later. It's just going to be an awkward look. It's like, oh, what were you counting your new money or whatever? Not, it's just, to me, it's an added layer of pressure. A few days later, you got to deliver. And you know what? Bavacqua must have confidence that he's going to get this done before seeing how Notre Dame does in this playoff. That's a lot of faith and trust by Bavacqua. That timing tells you something. That's a lot of faith by the AD. And I wonder if some Notre Dame fans don't like that. I wonder if some Notre Dame fans are going to put in the chat, John, a little too soon for me. Let me see you win a playoff game or two. Let me see that recruiting get in the top 10 every year. Is that a fair argument? I don't know. The downside to that is if you kick it out down the road, do other opportunities come Marcus's way? Somebody makes him a deal he can't say no to, Godfather style. Like, these are all the things you got to weigh. These are all the things you got to weigh. So the biggest takeaway here is now you have long-term stability for the program. Everybody knows exactly what it is and who's doing what. It should stabilize things, help with recruiting. Just there's a through line of continuity in place here and a stability here that is healthy. It's good news for everybody involved, and it does add a unique pressure to what's coming up in a few days for Marcus Freeman, in my opinion. It won't change anything. It's not like if they lose to Indiana, they're revoking this. I'm just saying it's a unique pressure. But I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. Every time you think you've seen it all in Notre Dame land, your phone starts blowing up, and 2 minutes later, it's just boom. Boom. Notre Dame news. Boom. All the time. It's always something. It's always something. And right when you think you're in for a lazy Sunday night of football, watch it. Boom. More Notre Dame news. Oh, man. All right. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure this is going to be the talk of the morning show tomorrow. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to check out the merchandise. The link is in the description. You can browse and carouse all the different Always Irish gear. Make sure you head over there and get something for the next tailgate. Thanks for being here.